Hello everybody, this is Tim here again doing a movie review from outside, balancing this laptop on my knee for the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die. I have to say I just watched this, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I'd give it a 4 out of 4. I thought it was great. It's a great finisher for the Daniel Craig saga, the movies. Um, I loved it by the end. I will say this though, I was disliking it to just thinking it was kind of all right or okay at points during the middle, but by the ending of this flick, it really rose to a 4 out of 4 for me for the ballsy way that they chose to end this. You got James Bond, Daniel Craig back. You got Blofeld back, Christoph Waltz. The last one, Spectre, was just kind of passable. Here, this really feels like a cap off for the Daniel Craig era. It's got him and his wife. He splits from her at the beginning because he thinks that she's like betrayed him or whatever. He goes on the run. He thinks like Spectre's still coming after him and shit. He thinks it's Blofeld. He goes to prison. He meets his wife there again. She like poisons Blofeld and he gets killed. You got Rami Malek, the dude from Mr. Robot, in this as the villain with a burned up face. I will if you hear something in the background, that's traffic because I'm doing this outside and I live very close to the highway. But Rami Malek is a good actor and he does a good job here performance wise. But his character's just okay as the villain. He doesn't even show up in the movie till like halfway through. Most of this is just the James Bond story focused on Bond and not really the villain, which is good because this is the last Daniel Craig one. But at the same time, though, they needed a stronger villain in the movie. Rami Malek isn't bad. His character like is okay. His acting is good, good performance, but his character is just okay. He's just not very interesting, like villain wise. Pretty much, he's in love with Bond's wife, wants to take her as his own, abduct her pretty much, and he pretty much had Blofeld killed. He tries to take Bond out, and we find out that Bond and his wife has a daughter, and it belongs to Bond. Daniel, and there's a black chick in this movie who's like heavily promoted or whatever. Her acting performance is good, but she was like heavily promoted or something. I remember going into this movie about being a big deal in this film, but she does almost nothing. Like blink and you miss her. I think she had maybe like 3 scenes in the whole movie. But you get some pretty cool action sequences where Bond is like doing a race and everything, or not a race, but he's getting chased after by bad guys and vehicles and shit, and he's causing them to crash. Kind of cool. Not a lot of good like hand-to-hand combat in this one though, like the other Bond ones. Um, like I said, Rami Malek's character really doesn't feel like main villain worthy. It's his character though. It's not the performance; it's the character. He's just not that interesting. He's okay though, and when he gives speeches, he does a good job. But ultimately, not the most interesting or epic of villains. Um, by the time you get to the end, Bond is like trying to rescue his wife and his daughter. Rami Malek has her hostage. He gives his big villain speech instead of just killing Bond like every other Bond villain does. Bond manages to take a bunch of people out because he pulls an extra gun he had out. Rami Malek gets away. Bond's wife actually saves herself, which I thought was cool. Teams up with Bond. They go to rescue the daughter, and I do like that Rami Malek just kind of lets the daughter go. Like he doesn't want to actually kill her or really hurt her. I appreciate that. It adds more dimension to his character that he doesn't really want to kill a child. He lets her go, Bond and his woman to find her, and he sends them off, and he decides to stay and finish Rami Malek and stop his evil plan. He takes out Rami Malek by breaking his arm. Pretty cool action scene. Rami Malek manages to poison him though, and Bond is dying. Then he blows Rami Malek's brains out, kills him. And then before they like bomb the place or whatever and got to blow it up, he's talking to Q and he tells them to let him talk to his wife, and he tells her about how he gave him the most beautiful thing ever, the daughter or whatever. And very sad ending. Great acting by Daniel Craig. Great performance. This ending climax, I would have probably have given this film like a 2.5 to a 3, but this ending climax, this epic ending, brings the film up to a 4 easily for a Bond flick. You get to the ending, Bond stays there and he gets blowed up. Sacrifices himself pretty much because he's already dying anyway. There's nothing he can do. And the movie ends with them all like mourning Bond, his co-workers, and then like back to work because that's the way it is in the life of these types of people. And then his wife is driving on the road with their daughter, and she looks at him and she looks at her and goes, "I'm gonna tell you a story, honey, about a man named Bond, James Bond." It is kind of cheesy that she says that because that's like the signature phrase, but at the same time, though, the movie needed it. You needed to go out on something like that to commemorate Bond because this is the end of Daniel Craig's era. Now, I didn't watch this movie through the credits. Yes, I did watch it online, so they didn't have the credits on the one I watched. So I don't know if there is a bonus scene where miraculously Daniel Craig lived. And yes, it's true. If they really wanted to, if Craig decides he wants to keep going, they could just do another one and say he miraculously lived somehow. But I really hope that's not the case. I hope this is the final one. This is a good way for his version of Bond to go out. And then they need to wait a while, reboot it, and come back with whatever they want to do next. All in all, I'd give it a 4 out of 4. For a Bond film, for how epic this ending is, it earns a 4 out of 4. A great time. Rami Malek is just okay as the villain, character-wise, even though his acting is good. All in all, great. Much better than the last one. I don't think it's as good as Skyfall or Casino Royale, but it's better than the last one. Um, It's better than Quantum of Solace as well, which is the weakest of these Daniel Craig ones. Well, no, I take that back. The weakest would probably be Spectre, which I think was the last one. Skyfall was just, I mean, not Skyfall, but Quantum of Solace is just kind of all right. But yeah, all in all, great. I loved it. If you're a Bond fan, check it out. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. So thank you, and I'll see you again.